Backstage in Palm Springs, where the desert meets the stars, with Jason Mannino.
Hi, Coachella Valley has always been a sanctuary for artists, but today, it's a powerhouse. Between the world-class talent that calls the desert home and the stars who travel here to grace our stages, Palm Springs has its finger on a nationwide pulse of theater, cabaret, and the vibrant culture that makes this city legendary. We're bringing you intimate conversations with the people who make it happen. Let's go backstage in Palm Springs. Good morning. How are you?
Busy boy. I see you all over Facebook all the time. Just everywhere.
Well, I am pretty busy. It's a good thing. It's a good thing. Thanks for taking the time to do this. I appreciate it. In the history of the gay choral movement, there are names etched into the music itself. Names that represent more than just talent. They represent community. They represent resilience. My guest today is one of them. We're not just talking to a conductor today, we're talking to a man who used a baton to help an entire community find its voice during some of its darkest hours. For 5 decades, he hasn't just been conducting, he's been holding communities together through song. From the devastating front lines of San Francisco at the height of the pandemic in the 80s and 90s, to a decade plus of musical brilliance in the Twin Cities, and for the last 10 years here in the Coachella Valley in Palm Springs, he has redefined what it means to sing out, the title of their next show, which will be taking place at their newly reopened iconic Plaza Theater April 17th through 19th. He's a pioneer, a Gala Chorus's Lifetime Achievement Award recipient, and the outgoing artistic director of Modern Men, Coachella Valley Men's Chorus. Before he takes his final bow with Modern Men, we're going backstage with a true legend of the gay choral movement. Please welcome the artistic director of Modern Men, Coachella Valley Men's Chorus, Dr. Stan Hill. Welcome, Stan. Thank you so much for joining me today on Backstage in Palm Springs.
Well, I'm delighted to be here on Backstage. I love the idea, the premise of the show, that you're actually going into places and finding out the underbelly of the entertainment business in the Valley. There's so much going on in the Valley.
There's so much going on in the Valley between homegrown projects like Modern Men and the thriving theater and music scene here, and then the people who live here who have had vast and long and storied careers in arts and culture and music and theater, and then the people who are constantly coming through here during seasons. So yeah, I thought it was a great opportunity to have really a national level conversation right here from our little corner of the world here in Palm Springs.
I love that.
How are you doing, Stan?
Doing great. It's a busy time, as you can probably guess.
Yes.
Next week is euphemistically called Hell Week, as we have. That's when we have our last rehearsal and we move into the house.
Sure, yep.
But we love the people at the plaza. They have just been so kind to us, so accommodating, naming us the ensemble in residence. John Bolton and the crew are just absolutely amazing. So hospitable.
Well, that's great to hear. And I know, having been in the theater again for a few years now, I know quite a bit of the crew that's been hired there at the plaza. So yeah, they are wonderful. Before I really get underway with my questions, I just wanted to share with you, I'm not sure if you're aware that for me personally, until I moved to Palm Springs in 2021, I had not been on stage in a performance capacity in well over 2 decades. And then one thing led to another, and I met a couple of people who connected me to you and Modern Men, and I joined the chorus for just one concert, but that was the beginning of my re-entry into being on stage and being a performer. And with that,
Do you remember which concert it was?
Yeah, I was so blessed and lucky to have my first time back on stage performing be the commission. It was Momentum. To sing a brand new piece of, brand new repertoire was just amazing. So just wanted to share that there's a special place in my heart for Modern Men and for you as the conductor with that opportunity that it gave me.
We went on and took Momentum all the way to Minneapolis for Gala Festival.
Yeah, which I had hoped that I would be joining you on, but unfortunately other things took my attention. So I'm going to dive in here now. So you've essentially conducted kind of across the map here in the country, from the Midwest, your Midwest roots, to San Francisco and the desert. How have those various regions in the country influenced the way that you approach, song interpretation and visibility and all of those kinds of things?
The whole idea that rehearsing with these guys with the goal of in 15 weeks, we're going to put on an entire show. That happens everywhere. All 200 choruses around the country. I'm sure you've seen on Facebook, all of the choruses this week are doing their concerts around the country. New York, Los Angeles, all of them are in the process of putting on their summer show. And it's happening everywhere. It is such a visual affirmation of the community as a whole, unlike anything else, because of the numbers. There are now choruses approaching 300 voices. We've grown from 24 voices to 150 voices in just 10 years. So the growth is extraordinary, and the sky's the limit.
What do you attribute that growth to? Particularly, let's say here in the Coachella Valley and Palm Springs, there are two choruses. There are two large choruses.
There are two 100 voice plus choruses.
What do you think?
People keep asking me, why don't you combine the two choruses? Well, number one, there's no rehearsal space. And number two, there isn't a stage that would hold 200 guys. But Jerry is doing such a magnificent job with PSGMC. Their enthusiasm, their vibrancy, they're just doing a wonderful job. And now we, as you know, are in a transition phase. The board just hired Evan Miles from Eugene, Oregon, and he's going to be the new guy. I'm going to pass the baton in the upcoming concerts on the 17th, 18th, 19th, and he will bring a new, fresh, exciting dynamic to the chorus's future. I'm excited about it.
That's wonderful. And what were the attributes that the board decided on that had them select this person?
Well, he's young. I'm 80. He's less than half that. But also, he's a consummate musician. He's knows everybody in Gala. He's networking very, very strongly with Gala. And he's got the chops. I mean, he's going to be everything you're looking for in an artistic director. He started his own chorus in Eugene 8 years ago.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And they're just doing wonderfully.
Great. That's wonderful. And what is it about the Valley, Coachella Valley and Palm Springs, that you think, is able to sustain two relatively large choruses?
Well, the only thing that sustains us, amongst sponsors and donors, is the audience. If we didn't have the audience, we wouldn't have a chorus. And the audience has grown in exactly the same proportion as the chorus has grown. We did a survey and we discovered that our audience consists of 70% of the audience members know somebody in the chorus. There's a relationship there.
Sure.
They're either friends, family, acquaintances, colleagues, or people who work in their where they work. And so people, you know what I think it is, Jason? I think it's word of mouth more than anything. People hear about it. Do you see PSGMC's concerts coming up? Do you see Modern Min's concerts coming up? You don't want to miss those concerts.
Yeah, I think that's true across the board in any venue, whether it be theater, music, choir,
absolutely,
symphony, all of it. You were at the helm in Twin Cities when you commissioned Naked Man. Looking back from 2026, did you realize at the time that you were creating what would become, a sacred text of sorts for the LGBT choral movement?
Actually, Naked Man was San Francisco in 2006 and in 96. Yes and no. I could not see into the future the impact it would have. We're talking 1996, and one of the movements is called Marry Us, when there was not even a discussion about marriage equality yet. Another deals with gender identity, which that was not even a topic of discussion. So many of the movements have so much relevance today that it fast became and is still being performed as one of the most relevant works created for GLBT choruses.
That makes sense. That makes sense. I mentioned in your introduction that you were at the helm in San Francisco during the height of the AIDS pandemic. Um, During those years, the chorus wasn't just an arts group, it was a support system, it was a political statement, it still is in some ways. How did that change your definition of what a conductor is meant to be?
Right from the get-go, I realized that it was the voice of the community. And so the music that was selected need to express the needs and concerns of the community. Um, it's interesting that when the San Francisco Gay Men's Chorus in 1978, which is way before me, sang on the steps of City Hall the day that Moscone and Milk were murdered, they sang a Mendelssohn piece because there simply wasn't that much men's music out there. Suddenly, we turned to the great composers, the Scott Hendersons, the Mark Reeses, to compose music for our community. A lot of that came out of Los Angeles. A lot of it came out of Bob Seeley in San
Mhm.
Francisco, and a lot of it came out of New York City. That suddenly there was music being composed for the movement, for the GLBT community. Turtle Creek Chorale, Seattle, all of these were now commissioning new works. And they were bringing in important people to sing their song. Holly Near was one of the great performers who really kicked off some of the music that we were doing. Her Great Peace March is something that I used to do constantly in San Francisco. It's the music spoke to the community. So I had an obligation of finding music that was the voice of the community.
Great. Well, you've certainly done a good job doing that. Um, Being here in Palm Springs and you about to take your final bow at the Plaza, now having become the resident chorus of the theaters, does it feel it's kind of like a homecoming? What does that feel like to you?
Um, I was so glad that we were able, the timing has been perfect. You know, Jason, 90% of any success is timing. The fact that this theater opened in time for us to have my entire last season at the Plaza Theater is nothing short of a miracle, okay? Because we were performing and I'll tell you, the Palm Springs Cultural Center were absolutely delightful to us. They were perfect people. But we outgrew them, and now we've gone to the Plaza Theater, and even though the stage is smaller, the audience is bigger, and we're able to reach a whole new audience. Different people come to downtown than came to the cultural center.
Really,
So
it's not that far.
it's not that far at
That's
all.
interesting.
No, it's just that the word gets out. Plus, here's another thing that you know, we tap into the Plaza Theater's media advertising.
Sure, yeah.
They have a whole branch of their administration that deals with advertising, and we're tacked onto that.
Yeah, I mean, that is amazing. It's off the top of my head, it's got to be at least 200 additional seats per show.
Yes, closer to three because we were at 400 at the cultural center and there's 700 at the
Oh, I thought it was 500 at the Cultural Center. Okay, got it. Interesting. Yeah, that's 300 seats per show. That's incredible.
yeah.
Incredible. Over the past 10 years with Modern Men, you've spent your time cultivating a specific ensemble sound. If you had to describe that sound, let's say, in 3 words to someone who has never heard the chorus, how would you describe
Resonance, resonance, resonance.
it? And
The,
define that.
the thing I strive for is making that big men's chorus sound. That's what people want to hear. They also do a magnificent pianissimo that just is breathtaking. But teaching a chorus to sing full is a challenge because you are inches away from yelling, but yet you still want the full sound. So we do all kinds of things about expanding the voice's ability to really make a big sound. Space is resonance, resonance is space. And I think we've achieved a lot in making that transition from your what is basically a community chorus to a really legitimate men's sound.
That's great. I can't wait to be at the show in 1 week from tomorrow. 1 week from tomorrow.
Yep.
I was reading that this show features a male pas de deux. You've always pushed for choral music to be more multi-sensory, more some staging involved in that, rather than just beyond men and risers. Um, what is it about that that's important to you?
Well,
it's more of a theatrical.
when the pas de deux first appeared, it was the first time anybody had ever seen a romantic male pas de deux. Very first time. And I wanted this to be, that was my very first gala festival. And so I like symmetry. So I want to go out with that. The brilliant choreographer who now lives in Palm Springs, Arturo Fernandez, who was ballet master in San Francisco and now has moved to Palm Springs, is choreographing it with two dancers from San Francisco. And so it's with string quartet and piano and half of the entire stage dedicated to the dancers. It's going to be absolutely stunning. I have always striven for some kind of visual component, so that it doesn't just look like penguins on the stage, that we have something visual that ties in what we're singing about.
Yeah, that's beautiful. Beautiful. As an actor and a singer myself, I'm obsessed with breath. This kind of speaks to what we talked about in terms of creating the ensemble sound. But how does the collective breath of the men of the chorus change in the rehearsal room, if it changes, when they know they're preparing for your final show?
Well, this, as you know, the secret with the chorus is through staggered breathing, you can carry a note forever. And so the secret is telling them to breathe often, but not at a measure changes, so that they get this constant flow of music. And breathing is 99% of singing. It's the whole thing. We keep forgetting that the voice is a wind instrument. And because it's a wind instrument, we have to support it with core and getting deep all the way to the pelvic basin, deep breaths, and then control the release through natural chord occlusion, which is called occlusion, when they come together, so that the sound is clean and supported.
Got it. If we've polled every singer you've conducted from Minneapolis to here in Coachella Valley, what is the one Stan Hill-ism or rehearsal rule they would all be able to quote back to me?
They know I start on time, on the dot. You know our beloved accompanist, Kurt. Well, at 6:30 on the dot, he starts the warm-ups. I do not entertain questions during rehearsal. They have section leaders, and they can call me or email or message me anytime during the week. But I have a specific flow for the rehearsal. Number one, we always rehearse in show order. So they get that in their mind. We rehearse in show order, regardless. And now that we're towards the end of the 15 rehearsals, we are running the entire show. We just keep running it. The more you run something, it really jogs the memory system. And I don't have to tell you that we have some senior members in our chorus, and memorization for me and many of them is a challenge. So I try to throw out little clues, memorization fixes, tips on memorization, and stuff like that. I don't want them worried about words and notes when they get on stage. The only thing I want them to worry about is, are they conveying the message of the music to their audience? The audience doesn't get to see me. All they see is my behind. They see the faces and the involvement of the chorus. And that's the feedback that they get. They get to see the music translated through the faces of the chorus.
When you drop the baton for the very last time on that Sunday, which would be the 19th of April, what is the specific frequency or feeling you want to be vibrating through the Plaza Theater in that silence before that last applause?
That it's not the end of anything, it is a transition and a new beginning. I have worked already with Evan quite a bit. I want this to be the most seamless transition imaginable so that there is, well, number one, the chorus is already excited. They've met him, he's conducted them for his audition, and they're excited by that. So that's going to be an easy fix, the chorus relationship. The other thing is to get him involved in the community with people like you and other media to get to know what a great person this is. This is an exciting individual, and he's going to take the chorus to great new heights. That's the most important thing about a transition is not this person or that person, it's the organization progressing and continuing to grow.
How do you see it growing? What is your vision for the chorus beyond your tenure?
Brand new and more challenging commissions and new music. There's new music now. It's hard to keep up with all the new compositions that are being written. And it's dynamic, exciting music. To keep in mind why we sing. You know, that's our theme song.
Love that song. Yeah, I do. Yeah, absolutely.
And we have to, every time we perform, we have to ask ourselves, why do we sing? Why we sing is to entertain, is to inform, is to enlighten, is to uplift, and it's to make the audience feel like they've been to an event, not just a concert.
I've spoken about the fifth section, members we've lost over the decades. How do you keep their voices present when you're standing on the podium, particularly as you enter your retirement?
They are part of everything that we do. We're going to be singing, as in this concert, a piece that was written specifically for that issue, and it's called Never Ever, and it's from Naked Man.
I think we sang that in the concert. Yeah.
Yes.
Sure.
It talks about looking at the audience and the chorus and everyone around us and realizing that there will never be another time when we have the same people on stage, the same people in the audience. We don't know what life is going to bring us. So what we have to do is take this moment as a gift and give it back again. And that's the lyric of Never Ever. The whole idea is those people live on in what we do, what we represent, and what we sing.
And that's true whether you're on stage in the moment, because whether it's a chorus or a theater or a play, there's only the moment. That's all you have. It's here and it's gone. But it's true in life as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a beautiful, beautiful message. You've received the Gala Chorus's Legacy Award. In a world that has changed so much since you started, what is the North Star for gay choruses today? Is the mission still the same? What is that?
I think mine was my Lifetime Achievement and Legacy Award was aimed predominantly at a period when I was commissioning constantly. We were doing, you see, the first gala I went to was in 92, and I took 3 separate pieces. But Los Angeles Gay Men's Chorus did a piece called Hidden Legacies, a many movement piece. Turtle Creek did a piece called When We No Longer Touch, 12 movements in one piece. And I decided then and there that from now on, and for the 8 galas that I've been to, I will spend my energies in commissioning new music. So we've done everything. Well, the four Seeley commissions, Naked Man, Exile, Metamorphosis, and
Momentum.
yes, Momentum. And plus, I went to other composers and did some other things. We did a piece called Through a Glass Darkly, because we had discovered that 13% of the gay men's movement were involved in methamphetamine.
Mm.
So we did an entire piece based on the effect of methamphetamine on the community. So again, we were sounding the community to hear, what do you want us to talk about? What do you want us to hear? During the early 2000s, when Minneapolis was trying to pass the Marriage Affirmation Act, we stood in our Marry Us t-shirts on the state capitol, and it was televised. And there we are singing Marry Us from Naked Man, because it was an urgency in the community. And people saw that. And when you see that many men getting up there and singing something, it has an effect. And that's the whole idea.
Getting the chills just listening to you tell the story. All right. As you move beyond having conducted 1,000 times or many, many times, is there a specific song that you're actually happy to never hear again in retirement?
I can't think of any, because now this, I will tell you, this concert has a couple of my favorites, but it also has a whole set of brand new music that's only been written in the last couple of years. That's very, very important music. But as far as favorites, I like them all. The Love Medley is 1960s oldie bebop music. It's When I Fall in Love, the Everly Brothers, Let It Be Me. You might even remember that, Jason.
Oh yeah, I do. I only remember
And
it as a memory.
the Righteous Brothers, Unchained Melody. And what I did was a mashup of those three pieces for the pas de deux. It works very, very well.
That's exciting. And then on come Monday morning, the day after the concert, what is the first piece of music you're going to listen to without thinking about tempo, dynamics, or the tenor line? Or
I'd be willing to bet that they go to YouTube, where most of my music from all the three choruses is posted on YouTube. I'll bet you a nickel they go back and relive those moments by listening to the recordings.
sure, sure. Now that you won't be prepping scores as much, I imagine you're not going away entirely, or are you? What is your plan? What are you excited about exploring right here in the Coachella Valley?
I came to the Valley in 2012, but I didn't start with the chorus until 2016. So my doctorate is in laryngeal physiology, on how the voice works. And I had a relatively successful voice studio for those 4 years. But I'm the kind of person that can only focus on one thing at a time. So when I was chosen to be, when they asked me to take over the chorus, I kind of let that fall apart. But I'm now working on putting together a website and a syllabus and all the things necessary. I'm different than a regular voice teacher or a voice coach that wants you to learn music for an audition or something. What I do is I listen to somebody's voice that's having a particular problem. And then I do a diagnostic and I prescribe exercises aimed at fixing the problem. 90% of it is breathing, about 10% of it is hearing, and then there's the whole vocal health situation. And so I've had some success with several voices in bringing their function back to life. A lot of these people sang when they were young and haven't sung for 30 years and now want to sing again. And it's a matter of getting the voice retuned and healthy again.
Great, that's awesome. I imagine you'll be having a lot of people knocking on your door.
I hope so.
Into closing, is there anything, moving away from from Modern Men and the Baton for now, at least, what would you like to share?
I don't have to tell you how difficult it is to pull together a group of men and grow from 26 to 150. That's a lot of work. What I would like to see is that growth continue. I would be devastated if suddenly, and it's not going to happen because I know Evan, I know what's going to happen. But what I'm hoping for, the membership is going to be loyal. What I'm hoping is that we can bring our audience on board. So part of the concert is going to be introducing Evan to the audience so they get to see him. He will be there, and I will literally physically be handing the baton to him. And they will be able to meet the new guy and feel the same kind of energy, the same kind of excitement continuing as the chorus continues.
Great.
You don't work this hard to see it dissolve. I would much rather it keep growing.
It's hard to imagine the desert air without the specific harmony you've cultivated here over the last decade. And listening to you talk about things like the fifth section and the collective breath of these men, it's clear that while you may be dropping the baton for now, the vibration of what you built, as you just said, isn't going anywhere, and ideally will just continue to grow. You've reminded us all that a chorus is more than just a group of singers. It's a sanctuary, if you will. And to our audience, if you want to be part of this historic moment, and believe me, you do. Dr. Stan Hill's final bow is called Sing Out with Modern Men, Coachella Valley Men's Chorus that runs on April 17th through the 19th at the newly renovated Plaza Theater. It's a homecoming, a farewell, and a celebration of a man who has played a key role in defining the American gay choral movement. Before we let you go, I also have to mention, we've talked a lot about the music, but so much of the magic here in the Valley happens in the collaborative spirit, in the way our local theater, our art scene, our music scene consistently shows up for one another. And it's that community that you've helped create that makes the desert so special. Stan, thank you for being our North Star radical visibility.
Thank you, Jason, very much. I appreciate your extending out, reaching out to bring groups together.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that as well. And I'll see you at the concert.
I'll look forward to it.
Take care.
You
Bye.
too.